Hello, everyone, and welcome back to GameStack Podcast. This is episode 143, Top of the GameStack. I'm your host, Vendertron. Joining me this evening also is Shalene. Hello, Shalene.
Hi, how you doing, Bender?
Good, how are you? I see you have your green on. I, too,
Yes,
also
as do
have my
you.
green on.
We are recording on St. Patrick's Day.
It is March 17th, St. Patrick's Day, so that's cause for wearing green, I think, in and of itself. How are you doing? How was your week?
Good. I had an okay week. It was a good week. It wasn't a week, but like it wasn't a great week. It wasn't an outstanding week. Um, today was a good day.
Okay.
We had a snow day from work. They closed my office due to snow. So that was really fun. I got to stay home and play video games and read books and like watch the snow while sipping coffee.
Oh,
It
you
was lovely.
stinker. You
Yes, it
stinker.
was a good time. How about you? How was your week?
My week was a roller coaster, Shalene. It was a roller coaster. Um, so back in I think it was last year. Do you remember when I wrote that article that ended up in the National Post
I do.
about people
Yeah.
with diabetes? Um, well, anyways, long story short, um, the government here has decided to do away with or they wanted to do away with the coverage that was available through our government through universal health care for people living with type 1 diabetes to access an insulin pump. And an insulin pump is like anywhere from $6,000 to $10,000
I
to
had no idea they were that expensive.
purchase, and then it's like anywhere from $300 to $700 a month on top of that.
Hmm.
To use it. And so, I mean, obviously people freaked out about this because this meant
Yeah.
this was the difference between having an insulin
Life and
pump and yeah,
death.
yeah. So anyways, long story short, my week started out, I was so what happened was actually is that I went on this town hall call, and I was, by sheer dumb luck, one of the people that was selected to ask a question to the Minister of Health for our
Okay.
province. And I said, yeah, so I told him who I was. And I said, why are you planning to do this working group and you don't have anybody living with type 1 diabetes to consult with on these committees? Like, how about you make decisions about people with them at the table? Um,
Hmm.
and like that broke the internet. I woke up to like 20 different gift cards for Starbucks in my email from random people across Alberta, which was kind of funny. But anyways, fast forward to now, they decided to put a provincial working group together to bring people from all walks of the diabetes community to sort of discuss and review the current strategies for diabetes healthcare in Alberta. And on Monday, I got asked to be on that committee,
Oh,
which is kind of a big deal.
yeah, that sounds important.
Yeah, because it's government level. So
Mhm.
actually, I'm not even sure if I'm supposed to say that. I haven't signed an NDA yet, so it's probably fine. But yeah, so that's how the week started out. Great. It started out really good.
That's wonderful.
And then it sort of ended on a sour note because we last week on the show I was talking about funding. You had gotten your
I
funding and I
remember,
was waiting for
yeah.
my funding. Well, our grant was funded. We found out today, but it's
Yay.
only partially funded. So we only get
No.
a fraction of what we originally put in for, which is fine because it means that we still get to pay the people who are participating in my research who live with type 1 diabetes for the first time. We get to pay them, which is a big
That's a
deal.
huge deal. A
They've
huge
been
deal.
contributing their time on a volunteer basis for 3 years now, and we
Hmm.
haven't been able to pay them. So it's huge. That's a win for me. But it's tough because it wasn't what I expected, and it was less than I expected, and
Hmm.
so.
And you
Anyways,
knocked it out of the park at the interview.
yeah, it went really well. The presentation went well, so.
Hmm.
Yeah, so things are going well. Welcome to everybody coming into the chat. Happy Friday. Welcome to the best little corner of the internet on a Friday evening here on Twitch. We love you. We love that you come back each week. And if you're not here for the live show, thank you for listening to the recordings on whatever podcast platform you may listen in on. Don't forget our show is sponsored by Oak and Crow Coffee. If you head on over to oakandcrow.com, you can pick up a bag of We Just Love Coffee blend, and $2 from every purchase of that blend goes to the Children's Miracle Network. Also, tell your friends about the show, share us on your social media, hype up the show for the Fridays when we go live. We love to bring people into the live chat. And if you want to be involved in the community even after the show, how can people do that, Shalene?
You can join our Discord server. That's far and away the best way to stay in contact with us and be an active part of the community. You can do that by clicking on the Discord link on our Twitch page, twitch.tv/WeJustLoveGames. That link is live whether or not the show is, so you can just join our Discord anytime. Alternately, you can send us a message on social media or send us an email to info@WeJustLoveGames, and we will get you that. We will get you an invite link.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And
speaking of Discord,
what's going on?
There has been some activity. First, we have a new Discordian to welcome. Welcome to Lady D33.
Fresh blood.
Yes. It's been a while
It's
since
been
somebody's
so long.
joined. So welcome, Lady D33. We're glad you joined, and we hope to see you chatting with everybody else.
Yeah.
And it's not that we don't appreciate all of our lurkers as well. If you'd prefer to just lurk, that's your prerogative, and we love you anyway. But in other Discord news, there is now a new channel that was recommended by RTZ of the Audio Folk, and it is called the GameStack Marketplace. And
Cool.
this channel, he wanted a place to post game deals and free games and to do game giveaways. And this fellow just kicked it off with a bang. Let me tell you what, vendor. He posted upwards of 20 games that he has codes for that he would like to give away.
Amazing.
And they're not like random indie games. Some of them are, but
some of them are like AAA games, though. I was flipping through,
huge games that you have heard of and you probably want to play.
What kind of games? Can you list some of the games off for the people?
I don't have Discord open. I remember seeing one of the Pillars of Eternity in there. I remember seeing Kingdoms of Amalur Re-Reckoning because I thought about throwing my own hat in the ring for that because I enjoyed Amalur.
Yeah.
Oh, where GameStack Marketplace. Scroll. Frantic scrolling.
There's so much scrolling.
It's a very busy post. Okay,
it's one of those bargain bins at Walmart that's just overflowing with DVDs. Yeah.
We've got XCOM 2, Strange Brigade, Euro Truck Simulator, Backbone, Ghost Runner, Pathfinder Kingmaker, Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. We've got Epic Chef and Golf Gang, Ticket to Ride, Doom Eternal. Doom Eternal is on there. Wow.
Yeah.
Hard West, Phantom Doctrine, just tons of games. So if you are in need of something to play, most of these are on the PC platform, I believe. So definitely visit the GameStack Marketplace and follow the guidelines there, and RTZ will hook you up. And there are also tons of posts with game sales, game deals, and free games that are available on the internet.
Nice.
So you can check that out for yourself. I am looking forward to seeing where this goes, and I feel like it's going to be a really, really active channel.
It's already super active. Yeah. And don't forget, I'm just going to tag this on because it's probably going to be floating around in that channel this week and next week as well. But it's the spring sale on Steam.
Yeah.
Steam spring sale, March 16th to March 23rd. And you can pick up really awesome games, AAA games like Forza Horizon 5, 40% off, Red Dead Redemption, 70% off, Dead Space, Elder Scrolls Online, also 70% off, The Witcher, 70% off.
Just keeps growing.
Yeah, so Assassin's Creed, God of War, you can get that 40% off. Battle 2042, 70% off. Fallout 76, 75% off. I feel like they should
Mm,
have made it 76% off, but
that would be hilarious.
yeah.
That would be so
Um,
funny.
Stray, you can get Stray if you've been wanting to play that,
I
20%
need
off
to
as
finish
well.
that. I never finished that.
Check out the Steam Spring Sale and pick up some games. Tell us what you've been playing. Tell us what you added to the stack. And yeah, I think it's going to be a good channel. It's super busy. I'm
Yeah.
it's now one of the channels that I go to on my daily rounds through the
Yes.
GameStack Discord or the WJLG Discord, because I like to see the deals too. So,
Mm-hmm.
mhm.
Yeah. That's great.
Anyways, we do have a show to get on with, and once again, thank you all for joining us this evening. Um, we are going to talk about some news tonight. We're going to talk about some gameplay. We're going to take you through the stock market. And we're also going to talk about some of the screenshots and stories that are coming out of the community as well. So let's hop right into the news with this just in. Take it away, Shalene.
First off, as always, shout out to Joseph Tao. Thank you so much for compiling the news for us every week. We appreciate it so much. And just as a little side note to our listeners, there was a ton of news in this week's news drop regarding the Microsoft Activision merger thing, but I'm skipping it this week because I am sick of talking about it, you guys. I'm so tired of talking about Microsoft Activision acquisition. Not this week, not today. I'm having a good day.
Not
I'm not going
today,
to let
Satan.
Microsoft bring me down. So we are not going to talk about that. We're just going to skip it, and if it goes through or if it fails or something, then we'll let you know.
Okay.
But in the meantime, let's talk about some other evil corporate overlords, shall we?
Sure.
Okay, we're going to start with Epic.
Oh, okay.
Now,
I wasn't sure where you were going there with.
Okay, so this is one that you actually sent me, Vendor. This is a press release from the Federal Trade Commission from their official website,
Right.
ftc.gov. The
Mm-hmm.
FTZ has FTC.
Can you
The
explain?
FTC,
Can you just like quickly explain what FTC is for some of our
the
audio listeners
Federal
that don't know?
Trade Commission.
Okay.
Yes, and they are just what they sound like. The Federal Trade Commission. They regulate trade. They have finalized an order requiring Epic Games, the maker of Fortnite, among others, to pay $245 million for tricking users into making unwanted charges. And the FTC will use this money to provide refunds to customers. And I'm just gonna go through this a little bit. The Federal Trade Commission finalized this order to settle charges that the company had used dark patterns to trick players into
Dark
making unwanted
patterns.
purchases. I know.
Sounds like
I
dark
love
magic.
the phrasing here. I mean, this is the official government website, and they're dark
patterns.
that
think
sounds like a video game name.
I think it kind of implies some level of manipulation, right?
It certainly does. And another assertion is that they allowed children to rack up unauthorized charges without parental involvement. The complaint, announced in December as part of a settlement package with Epic, the FTC said that Epic deployed a variety of design tricks known as dark patterns to get consumers of all I'm sorry. Okay. For the people who are listening afterwards, I lost it because in the chat, Mr. Rockstark posted dark patterns, FTC edition. Oh, that was good.
Carry on.
So, and these patterns were aimed at getting consumers of all ages to make unintended in-game purchases. Fortnite's counterintuitive, inconsistent, and confusing button configuration led players to incur unwanted charges based on the press of a single button. The company also made it easy for children to make purchases while playing Fortnite without requiring any parental consent. And they were locking the accounts of customers who disputed unauthorized charges with their credit card companies. That's real shady.
Yep.
Yeah, that is super shady. So they must pay $245 million, which will be used to provide refunds. And the order also prohibits Epic from charging consumers through the use of dark patterns or from otherwise charging consumers without obtaining their affirmative consent. Additionally, it bars Epic from blocking consumers from accessing their accounts for disputing unauthorized charges.
Mm-hmm.
After receiving 5 comments, the commission voted 4-0 to approve the complaint and order Epic and the responses to the commenters. In a separate settlement, also announced in December, Epic agreed to pay a $275 million penalty to settle FTC allegations that the company had violated the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act rule. If you would like any more information, you can visit ftc.gov and check this out for yourself. But I would love to know more about what the dark patterns are. I would like to know how they identified them. And I feel like the solution is as simple as requiring a second button click to do a purchase. Just, you open the menu and you're looking at it. Are you sure you want to purchase this for this much money? And
Well,
to
the
me,
one
that
thing
would
is that
solve it all.
they were locking accounts of customers who disputed unauthorized
That's so
charges to
shady.
their
So
credit card.
shady.
So like that, in a Better Business Bureau sense, that's like fraudulent activity,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um, because there's always some sort of clause or agreement that you can request your money back
Yeah, as there should
within a
be.
certain amount of time. But like to lock someone out of the ability to even do that is like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
And then if you're locked out of your account, you're locked out of all of the previous purchases that you've made. Anything that you did purchase on purpose, you can't access that anymore.
yeah.
All of your achievements, everything, all gone. Epic is awash in a sea of problems. It sounds like.
Well, what are your thoughts on this?
I don't really have any other thoughts.
Oh,
That was all the
well,
thoughts.
I mean, for me, the first thing that comes to mind is like, do the rest of mobile gaming,
Yes. Yes.
right? Like, don't
Yes.
stop at Epic. I mean, keep
Mm-hmm.
going. You can't hit these guys once every 10 years and just pretend like everything's good again, because it's not,
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
right? Um,
Predatory microtransactions have plagued gaming for years now.
and
So many
Epic hasn't
years.
been the only
And
one to deal with this, right?
far
Apple,
from.
Amazon, Google, Microsoft, Facebook, all each have been sued by the FTC for ripping everyone off, especially
Mm-hmm.
parents in games. Um, but one of the things that comes to mind though is 205 million. Is that what you said?
245 million.
$245 million for a multi-billion-dollar company is a drop
It's a
in the
slap on the
bucket.
wrist.
This is like five less than 5% of what Fortnite earns in total revenue for this company annually. So, like, they should have been charged triple that. Right? You need to you
It would
need
have
to
to be more to be
you got to hit them so
significant.
hard that they're never going to do it again, because it's going to
Mm-hmm.
happen again now. Right? They're going to look at the cost benefit and say, "Yeah, we can cut corners in other areas to make more money on people."
No, I definitely think this is a warning, and they have been forbidden from using those same dark patterns,
Dark
whatever they
patterns.
may be. I sort of wish we hadn't named the show yet. Dark patterns.
uh, I feel like that's like the section you stay out of in the
Mhm.
knitting aisle at Walmart, it's like the Diagon
the
Alley of
the
of
dark
yarn.
patterns is like when you knit the dark patterns, it's like you summon very cuddly
Yeah.
demons.
Grandma knitted a black hole. And now everything in the room is getting sucked into it. Ah.
Oh my goodness.
uh,
Listeners, tell us what you imagine when you hear the phrase dark patterns. You can send that to us on social media or via email at info@wejustlovegames.com.
yeah. Anyways, I think we spent enough time on this article. What's next?
Sea of Thieves got a big exciting patch and they a new season is happening and I want you to guide me through it.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so these release notes are chocked full of good stuff that you guys are going to want to hear about. As you know, season 9 of Sea of Thieves has dropped this week, March 16th. and it's offering up a wealth of different additions and improvements and refinements to classical features that you can see in the game. New chests, new voyages, new rewards, a shot in the arm for world events, and countless tweaks to make the pirate life more gratifying than ever. So let's head on into it. There's a lot to break down here, so I'm going to start with the Forts of Fortune. So now within the Forts of Fortune, you will be able to find chests of fortune and earn fates of fortune.
Are
Simple,
forts of
right?
fortune the same as the forts, the sea forts, or are they new forts?
Fort of Fortune is the little forts that you do with the key. You get the you dig the thing and you get the key, and then you go and you
Mm,
yeah, I think I can't remember.
okay.
I haven't done a lot of Fort of Fortune, but um the new Fates of Fortune cosmetics are behind commendations also tied to Reaper's chests, and neither those nor the precious new chests of fortune are easy to hold on to for long enough. Um, so basically, with the Chest of Fortune, a new high value chest has arrived on the seas, which offers a fortune in gold and the promise of exclusive rewards if safely cashed in. Um, the Chest of Fortune is now sort of the new highly sought after chest on the seas by crews. And in season 9, the Chests of Fortune have locked away in the Fort of Fortune vaults, ready for the taking. And cunning crews who claim them will progress the Fortune's favor commendation to unlock the first ship items from the new Fates of Fortune cosmetic set. Future seasons, you will expect to see Chests of Fortunes to move around and bring the fight to new locations while enabling new commendation grades and expanding the Fates of Fortune set. Now, just a short note on Reaper's chests as well. The beacons that are visible across the seas with your Reaper's chests as you sail to them will now no longer go away when you pick them up. Reaper's bounty will now stay visible when the chest is being carried. It will stay
Ooh.
visible when it is on your ship and collected by players. There's no more hiding. And so pirates can now use the beacon along with the ship's map table icon to track this valuable cargo being transported by rival crews. And with these chests now much more visible when being transported, there's an additional reward for crews who successfully hand them in. So crews will now progress the Reaper's Riches commendation and start unlocking access to the Fates of Fortune weapon set. There's some other Chests of Fortunes achievements as well, but I'm not going to go into that. There are some world events and encounters that you might want to know about. So when you set sail into the world, there's going to be a newly rebalanced Season 9. So let me just tell you a little bit about that. So with the Fort of Fortune specifically, it's been reimagined for Season 9.
Okay.
There's a more approachable and enjoyable experience for all crew sizes. So when you want to do spicy NATO, Shalene, you can go do that by yourself and be able to actually do it
Oh,
by yourself.
wow. That's
Yeah.
incredible.
This encounter will also appear more frequently than before, and crews successfully raiding the vault will be rewarded with the exclusive new Chest of Fortune. I realize that I just explained that for Fort of Fortune, but it also applies to other world events as well.
Cool.
And then while the fort encounter itself has been rebalanced to dynamically scale the difficulty to the number of pirates on your crew or fighting with you, each wave of skeletons is now a roll of the dice with different skeleton forms appearing to challenge the crews in combat. So I wonder if this means, like, are you going to get ninja skellies and then salad skellies and then maybe some like fire skellies or something, or the Devil's Roar skellies? Um, Fort of the Damned also, crews taking on Fort of the Damned will find that the Shadows of Fate and the Ghosts of Grey Marrow now dynamically scale in difficulty to the number of pirates storming the fort. The Shadows of Fate summoned to battle will now always appear as a single color within a wave, requiring less switching of Flames of Fate during the encounter. And resources have also been replenished around the Fort of the Damned, so crews can find more food barrels stacked with a range of fruit, along with additional ammo chests and an armory, which is really nice because now you don't have to like sail off to another island to like
Yeah,
fill up a
stock
storage
up.
crate. And Skelly Forts encounters here have been improved and rebalanced to dynamically scale in difficulty as well. And they are now stocked with more resources. Ashen Lords will now you'll now find that Ashen Lords have been dynamically scaled as well, and the skeleton fleets have also been scaled as well. And then just another note on skeleton fleets: the crews now have more time to resupply before the next wave arrives, and we'll find sunken galleons now drop storage crates of supplies for even easier restocking. The ghost fleets are returning to the seas. Once again, crews will be able to encounter ghost ships summoned through the rift before facing off against Flameheart's flagship, the Burning Blade. Following Flameheart's resurrection, he no longer watches over his encounter, and crew should look out for the swirling tornado in the sky to indicate that the encounter has begun. Megalodon encounters now occur in a wider variety of locations across the seas, including those previously restricted due to distance between islands. So you can expect to see more Meg fights on your ship as well. And sunken wrecks will now appear more frequently between islands rather than the outer
Yay.
areas of the map, making them more easily
I
discovered
love the
by
shipwrecks.
crews.
That
Yeah.
brings me happiness.
And then just a note on fog locations: visibility reducing fog banks can now appear in even more locations across the seas. And then a couple quick notes on captaincy. So there's some new voyages for Pirate Legends. And Legends will be provided with Wayfinder of Legends Compass to help direct their crews towards the mysterious Skull of Destiny. And the Skull of Destiny is part of the Flames of Fate, and it will allow you to cycle through the 6 different colors of flames. This is a really big deal because when you're
Mm,
doing the Fort of the Damned and you've got to sail around for the storm and stand in the
mm-hmm.
storm with your stupid sword out to get the white light, you don't have to do that anymore. You just got to go get this Skull of
Yeah.
Destiny, and then you can use the light, use that to light all the statues in the Fort of the Damned.
That
So
is so much easier. It
huge
was
time
such
saver.
a pain to be like having
Yeah.
to light all of the lanterns in your ship to get those flames, and
Mm-hmm.
then if you accidentally changed the light in the wrong lantern, then the whole crew's
Everyone's like,
mad at you.
no.
Yeah.
um, and then there's a legendary search for cursed treasure. This new voyage is exclusive to Pirate Legends. It aims to test crews' sailing skills against the hazards that are hoarding accursed treasures may bring. But along with that, there is a range of treasures to uncover. Players can encounter a new chest of boundless sorrow, which awards more gold but never stops weeping.
Nope, I'm leaving it there.
a,
Not
two,
worth it.
a true
Not worth
test of
it.
an organized crew. Also, navigating this perilous voyage will be richly rewarded from the cursed loot they return, and you should keep a keen eye out for a chance to uncover a chest of legends among your treasures.
Hmm.
There are now black powder stashes. Gosh, there's so much stuff. This is probably one of their biggest updates.
This is a huge
Um,
update.
Pirate Legends can now acquire this explosive new voyage. It will direct crews to a nearby skeleton fort where a range of armaments have been stashed, possibly including the explosive keg of ancient black powder. You can restock that quickly and prepare for battle. There's also some expanded company voyages and captain expansions to the captain's logbook, and then expansions to the Sovereign, as well as the captain's supply and voyage shop improvements, and then some milestone notifications. I just want to say the voyage shop improvements and the supply, you can now get a crate for fishing. Yeah.
That's
So
wonderful.
if you want to just if you want to just like not dig for hours, you can just go get a crate of worms and that's it.
Brilliant.
5,000 gold.
Brilliant.
5,000 gold.
That
Yeah.
is so worth not having to dig for an hour before you go fishing.
There are some other quality of life updates. So, treasure left behind in the Devil's Shroud will no longer remain out of reach and will be transported to a safer location for retrieval. Devil's Shroud is the Red Sea.
Ah, yes.
So, you can no longer Red Sea your stuff.
I don't like that. I don't like that. I like the option of doing a suicide run into the Red Sea
Mm-hmm.
and just nuking your own ship and everything on it to keep the people pursuing you from having it.
Agree. Agree. That's probably one of the things that I don't like that they changed. Seagulls above sunken treasures, as well, is something that you can expect when gathering above shipwrecks and floating barrels. You'll
Good.
be able to see seagulls spotted circling over any treasure left behind at sea. So even if it's a single item, which I don't know how I feel about that because I feel like you're gonna steer off course to go check out these
Yes, and you'll find
birds.
out that it's like one.
It's like an empty storage crate.
Mhm.
So, and I feel like people are going to abuse that. So I'm not sure how many birds it is or if it's going to be just one bird or I don't know. And then there's been some performance improvements as well. All servers have now returned to supporting 6 crews, which is kind of a big deal for
So
takeovers and
maybe
things
we
like
can do
that.
takeovers again.
When starting a session or migrating, servers will now actively matchmake 6 crews of different sizes in order to meet both 6 crew and 17 player limits. The team will also continue to monitor server performance following the launch and adjustment of the or adjust the player limit outside the update process to optimize that experience. Unwanted quests can now be stashed away. This is danger for you, Shalene.
It is.
Allowing players to tidy up their quest radial and only show those that are interested in. Stashed quests can be unhidden at any time. So I feel like you're just gonna have like stashes coming out of
I
every
will.
every
Mhm.
pocket quest. I
It's gonna
mean,
be like you open the closet in my ship and just scrolls of quests are gonna come pouring out.
there is improved collector's chest selling. Pirates can now sell all treasure items inside a collector's chest without having to remove them
Oh,
one by
that's
one.
fantastic. That's gonna save so much
Mm-hmm.
time.
Trading company representatives can now cash in all items they accept from within the chest. And I wonder if that's only going to work. Like, what if you have 2 skulls and then like a gold trinket?
Then I think you go to the Order of Souls lady and she will buy the two skulls and leave the gold trinket in.
And then you got to run to, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Captains looking to speed up the experience even further can sell everything inside a collector's chest to sovereigns, leaving the crew with the chest itself for future use. So that's handy.
Gorgeous.
Um, and then there's been some audio changes. So when music plays and things like that, harpoon improvements. Now, this is probably the biggest one that people are talking about. When using a ship's harpoon, players will now find that treasure will instantly detach from their harpoon onto the deck, removing the
Oh
need to stop
my
and remove it manually.
goodness. Oh my goodness, that's huge.
Isn't that a big deal?
We are going to be so fast at looting.
And the same thing applies to rowboats. If you've got a rowboat equipped with a harpoon, it will also place any harpoon treasure in the middle of the rowboat.
This is glorious.
I believe this also works with the Sovereign's Hut harpoon as well. It will place treasure on the lift
Mm-hmm.
platform just shortly behind you. As I said, bait crates are a thing. We talked about that. There's now a new fishing bait radial. So when you have a fishing rod equipped, players can now access a bait radial using the left trigger controller or the right mouse button when they're using their keyboard
It sounds
and
easier.
mouse. The food radial has been changed. If you're holding a food item, you can now access a food radial using the
That
B
is
button
so
on your
much
controller
better.
or the
So
R on
much
your
better.
keyboard.
So you don't
Um,
have just like the first food. You don't have
mhm,
to just eat whatever's first. You can be choosy about what you want to eat.
mhm. And this is another big one. Crews wishing to scuttle their ship will now be presented with 2 options. Crews can scuttle the ship and change seas, which will move them to a fresh server, providing a predictable way of leaving a server behind for a fresh encounter on likely calmer waters. And crews are still free to choose the original scuttle the ship option, which destroys your vessel while keeping you on the server.
I like that. I like that because I think that frequently, if you are choosing to scuttle your ship, you're probably being trolled. You're
Yeah,
probably being briefed,
and I
and you're
think that this
tired of.
is
Mhm.
I think this is going to help with server performance too, because they're not you're not going to have people dropping out of servers without actually exiting the server.
Right.
And you're not going to have people coming and going into, like, people will just switch from one server to another. So
I think it's a great idea.
yeah, that's a big thing. Um,
Huge.
Trading companies representatives will no longer only refresh their choice of voyages after a day, but will now offer fresh voyages as soon as one is purchased. And then browsing voyages available to your rank. Every type of voyage is now offered on the selection page for purchase. And pirates can now also purchase and hold up to 12 voyages in their inventory. So even worse for you, Shalene. It's
I'm
just
gonna
going to
have
be
so many
quests and
voyages.
voyages everywhere.
So
Yeah,
many.
you can now pirate lords are also now presented with 2 full pages of voyages to choose from, so that's exciting. That's going to keep people really engaged. The Reaper's bone skeleton hanging outside the outpost will now accept emissary flags, which is kind of a big deal because yeah, that was not a thing before. And crews aligned with the Servants of Flame will also earn allegiance when cashing in those flags. You can sell Tridents of the Dark Tides now, the bubble
Oh, that's
sticks.
great.
Yep.
That's really cool.
Yeah, so you can cash those in for gold and seasonal renown. The cursed mermaid statues have now been rebalanced, so all sizes of crew. This allows the ability to destroy them for the precious gems inside. But the
So you no
sapphire,
longer need multiple crewmates.
yeah, you no
I
longer.
don't know
Yep.
how I feel about that.
Yeah, I feel like that's maybe a little bit overkill, but because it's always like, oh, there's a red gem, can you come help me? And then it's like teamwork,
Yeah.
But
What's the point of having different values if they're all going to be defeatable by one person?
yeah,
I
and
don't.
not only that, they're going to be getting there's going to be better rewards when destroyed. There's a
Hmm.
chance for multiple gems, and they're more readily available across the waters.
Oh,
You'll
and they'll
no longer
also.
find them washed up on
Mhm.
islands, and the only sapphire gems can now be discovered within shipwrecks.
I
So,
guess that is a balance to it. I don't like it. I don't like that one.
Stephen spoils for sale. Now has felt pretty empty, I think, since Merrick has been lured away to his fate by the Dark Brethren.
What
But
even happened there? Did Merrick die? Was he murdered?
nobody
Like, what
knows. To
happened?
help fill the void in pirates' hearts, a new member of the Hunter's Call has been recruited and has arrived at Stephen's spoils. Uh, Adelric?
Mhm.
Adelric is now stationed at Merrick's old outpost, continuing to trade on behalf of the family business.
I think that's a very good thing. It was really annoying to me to pull up there with a pocket full of fish and just be left hanging.
Yeah, and it these quality of life updates just keep getting better, Shalene. Are
Mhm.
you tired of climbing all the way up to the crow's nest to change your ship flag?
So tired. You have
Pirates
no
can now
idea.
equip flags from the ship customization chest near the shipwright in the same way as equipping other ship customizations.
That's wonderful.
Also, resource containers, including barrels, merchant crates, and rowboat seats, can now clearly show the total number of items in each category that are being stored. Um,
Oh,
and as pirates fill these containers, they can easily see how close a category is to reaching its limit.
that's very cool.
I feel like I don't collect enough resources to be worried about that, but that's okay. Um, and then there's some improvements to brightness and contrast. The sitting points. You know how annoying it is when you go to pick up a chest and then you accidentally sit down on the
Yeah, you're
bowsprit?
sitting.
Players can now choose to reduce the interaction points around the ship for sitting locations and areas for placing trinkets,
That is
which
neat
this can be
customization.
disabled independently via the input settings menu. That's the first thing that I'm going to do.
Very cool.
Um, And then let me see what else. Barrels of Plenty balancing. So the numbers of floating barrels that appear in a group has now been reduced, but the likelihood of finding rare items in these barrels has been increased. So both precision and accuracy improvements. Um, Crews recovering Chest of Sorrow during their journey will now find that the weeping fills the ship at a much slower rate. And also, when protected by their metal casing, gold skellies will now take reduced damage from blunderbuss and flintlock shots. Weaken them with water before attacking. So you've got to do a little bit more work for the gold skellies than you
Okay.
used to be able to. So, those are some quality of life. Now on to Season 9. So, Season 9 updates is kind of a big deal. We've been waiting a long time for this. There's of course going to be all the regular stuff that you can expect to see in a season, 100 levels of renown and things like that. There are now the Prosperous Privateer cosmetics, which are new to Season 9, along with the time-limited Gilded Age rewards. Legendary pirates, or those who become Pirate Legend during Season 9, can also earn the legendary Bone Hunter jacket and spyglass.
Cool.
Completing tiers of seasonal progression will also award unique titles with a Gilded Age theme, allowing players to display their success for all to see. The Plunder Pass looks okay. I looked at some of the cosmetics. I'm not too keen on it. I probably won't buy it this season, but you can earn a full Sting Tide ship set, including the collector's figurehead and sails. And if you're looking to truly transform yourself, the Sting Tide costume can also be earned, evolving as players progress through the season. It's pretty. It's very like ornate and blue and white, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think you might like it.
I'll check it out.
And then of course all the regular emissary stuff. So you can get a Tribute Peak fishing rod, and tankard, Darkness fishing rod and tankard, Merchant Ambassador fishing rod, Masked Renegade, and the Magpie's Glory fishing rod, all available. And then there's some events through March as well. Starting on March 22nd, you can acquire the Lustrous Legend figurehead as a free anniversary gift. This is part of Sea of Thieves' 5th anniversary, the Marauders Medley event, which ends with the arrival of Season 9, but there's plenty more to enjoy. So a bombastic Pirate Emporium sale is now returning March 17th, that's today, to the 28th. You're going to be able to get discounts on ship sets, costumes, weapons, pets, emotes, all kinds of stuff. And then starting from Sea of Thieves special day on March 20th, you can make a stop at New Golden Sands Outpost to find a special wall set up for the 5th anniversary pirate selfies.
I
And
want to take fifth anniversary
get
pirate
some pictures. Have
selfies.
you seen the wall? I think we talked
I
about this
haven't.
last week.
I
It
do think it's really disappointing that they haven't added a proper photo mode.
I know. I think we talked about this last
I
week,
think
but
we did.
it's a plant wall. It's like a living wall, and then there's a giant Roman numeral 5.
I love it.
Yeah. Also on the 20th, you can head over to the Sea of Thieves YouTube channel and watch The Voyage of a Lifetime, a featured-length exploration of the game from its birth all the way through today, which I think is kind of cool. And then from the 25th to the 27th, all pirates will be welcome to join in the festivities through the community weekend, with more freebies to snap up and in-game boosts to unlock by using the Sea of Thieves anniversary hashtag on social media to raise the community emissary grade. That's hashtag SOT anniversary promo. So, and then of
Great.
course there's Twitch drops and stuff like that. So,
That sounds great.
I'm not going to go through the Pirate Emporium cosmetics, just to let
Yeah,
people know
I don't think that's
to
needed.
go through and check that out. And then there's going to be some uh, Gold Hoarders cosmetics are now available in full at the Outpost shops, as well as Season 1 Legacy cosmetics,
Oh,
which
cool.
I don't know how I feel about this, because like some people work really hard to get these cosmetics,
Hmm.
and then suddenly like a couple years
Now anybody
later,
can
months
have
later,
them.
anybody can have them. So
I
Um,
felt that way about the Fallout 76 seasonal items the
yeah,
first
yeah.
time that they started putting those in the item shop. But I I I am one of those people that works really hard to finish the season in Fallout 76, and I'm not in Sea of Thieves, so I have a completely reversed perception of it. I'm like, yeah, cosmetics, I can buy them. You know, that it's a completely different feeling.
Okay, now the last thing I want to talk about is some issues that they fixed, and you can be a judge as to whether or not these are issues or not. The
Okay,
first
I'm
one,
ready.
the first list of things is around gameplay. Players can no longer place items on ship's capstan, and any item placed here will now drop onto the deck.
Dislike.
Next, players engaging in melee combat and blocking with a sword will now find that blocking consistently prevents the player from taking damage. Phantom's charging attack now has a reduced range, preventing players from taking damage when successfully dodging.
I did think their charge attack was too powerful.
Mm-hmm. Supply barrels jettisoned from a ship will now be more spread out, ensuring they do not intersect with each other when surfacing. So they have inner.
Like
What's
the
the
hitbox
Yeah.
is
Crews who remove all items from a washed up storage crate and then leave the area with no longer will no longer gain additional resources when returning later to the same crate. Okay.
okay. That's fair. You already cleaned it
Players
out.
players rapidly removing resources from storage crates should now consistently remove the correct number of items.
Yeah, as they
That will
should.
be handy cuz it's like if I want to put yeah. And then crews diving beneath the waves will no longer bring the lit state of the lanterns at the Fort of the Damned to their destination server. Crews migrating naturally will continue to bring the state with them. Emissary flags now grant allegiance when sold to Mysterious Stranger, and ships that dive below the waves looking for opponents should now be automatically repaired even when damaged prior to diving. Becoming a servant champion no longer unlocks the Become Pirate Legend achievement, and players who sneak on board another faction ship and attempt to use a ship interactable as it dives beneath the waves will retain control when returning to their ship. Then there's some quick environment stuff. Players will no longer be able to walk through the textures of a sea fort basement. Not, I hadn't ever experienced that, but okay. Players can no longer walk through textures at the Shrine of Tribute. And within the Pirate Legend hideout, players should no longer be able to push through the environment and appear in the sea, which I did when I was trying to like see if I could break the game. I was swimming around underneath that ship in the Pirate Legend hideout to see if I could get on it, and then I like glitched through the world and I was like out in the sea, and it was not good. So player's camera will no longer intersect with the environment set dressings in two seating spots with the Pirate Legend hideout and the Glorious Sea Dogs Tavern. And then there's some visual and audio things. I won't go into that. Text and localization additions and performance and stability is also there. So yeah. And that's a lot of updates. That's like all of the things that we've been complaining about for 5 years in like one
Yes.
update.
Some of those updates are huge, huge, huge.
Huge things. So I'm curious to see what it's going to be like when we play.
I'm
How
looking
different.
forward to it.
It's going to be really
Yeah.
different. Like there's going to be
Not having to come and
things.
help you get the treasure off the harpoon is going to be so different.
Mhm. Well, not really for me, but anyways, that's the Sea of Thieves updates. I'm out of breath. Carry on, Shalene.
Okay, well, the next three articles that I have here are all in a bit of a similar vein. I wanted to talk about this because it looks like game developers have finally embraced focusing their development on the current gen consoles instead of also making games available for the PS4 and the Xbox One, in addition to the current PS5 and Xbox Series X and S. So the first one here is Horizon Forbidden West's DLC. And this is a VGC article um, by Jordan Midler, And it states that Guerrilla Games has discussed how making Horizon Forbidden West's Burning Shores expansion a PS5 exclusive has allowed it to get more out of the system. This expansion will be released in
Rated
April, and
T.
it's not coming to PS4, despite the fact that the base game was released for the PS4. In speaking to PlayStation Blog, Horizon Forbidden West director Mathis de the
No.
director of Horizon Forbidden West said, on Horizon Forbidden West, everything we added or increased was something we'd need to have a plan around how to optimize for PS4 as well. But with Burning Shores, since we can just focus on PS5, we've been able to charge forward. And we're really excited about what we've been able to pull off in creating this stunning post apocalyptic version of Los Angeles. And he said that the detail in the open world is one of the biggest advantages in making the expansion only available for the PS5. Another little quote here. The cityscape ruins of LA and its surroundings are highly detailed and require a lot of processing power, as well as fast streaming technology to run properly, especially when the player is flying over the lands and can see a lot at once. One of the settlements is situated in and around those detailed ruins, and we were able to squeeze a lot of activity in there. Um, and I'm just really, I'm surprised that it took this long. I'm surprised that it took this long for them to start focusing on the current generation of consoles. This really is a sign that Sony is not lying to us when they say that the PS5 shortage is over. Going on to the next one, this is a Games Radar article by Hiron Cryer. Marvel's Spider Man 2 and Wolverine have both been confirmed as PS5 exclusives.
Mm.
Yes. And this is the case. They are exclusive to PS5 consoles. Um, and um, yeah, that's it. That's it for that.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
there's this, there's no additional like
Sorry.
punchline to that.
Can't.
It's they're exclusive to PS5. And the Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty DLC is also next gen only, or current gen really. These consoles have been out for years now. It's high time that development focused on making games for these current consoles. It's time that we focused on taking advantage of this hardware and stopped holding developers back by forcing them to make something that will also work on the older systems. Um, so I'm really, I think it's fantastic that developers have begun to move on. I think that we are going to see some games that start looking like that start to feel next gen, that start to feel like, yes, this is why I had to buy a new system, and
Or this is
I'm
why I
looking
need to
forward
buy
to
a
it.
new system.
Yes, exactly, exactly. I really think that it is a very good thing for us to push this hardware and let's see what it can do.
Yeah.
And I love seeing this news that these games and developers are starting to focus on the
I
current.
agree. It's time to start making Unreal Engine 5 real. Um,
Mm-hmm.
right? Start using it and publishing with it because, it's been out for how many years now?
I don't even know. It's been a long time.
It's
When did
been
the
like
PS5 come
5.
out?
It's been like
When
5
did
years at least.
PS5 come out? This is when we need Joseph Tao in the live audience. November 12th of 2020. We're now in 2023, so it's been more than 2 years since these consoles released, and this is the first time that we're starting to get games that are exclusive to these new systems.
Yeah. And PS5 is leading the charge on that, right? So,
Absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely.
Can I just quickly list some other games that people can expect to see on PS5?
Please do.
So Lyra, by Epic Games. Sorry, that's going to be on PC. Um, Fortnite will be on PS5 as well. Um, and The Matrix Awakens,
Mm,
maybe as well. Yeah. Anyways, continue on.
yeah, that's really All I had to say about it. I think it's an extremely positive move.
Yeah, I'm excited. I think it's going to be good.
Me too. Our next story is decidedly less positive. Stalker 2 dev tells pro Russian hackers that attempts to intimidate us are completely futile amid blackmail threat. This is a Games
Huh?
Radar article written by Vicky Blake.
Wow, we
So
took
the
a left
dev-
turn there.
we did. I should really think about the order that I put these articles in. But Stalker 2 is being made by a Ukrainian developer. Um, the developer DSC Game World. They have responded to reports that they have been hacked by a pro-Russian outfit and confirmed that the group is seeking to blackmail and intimidate the studio.
Wow.
As spotted by Game Rant, the studio received demands to, and I quote, apologize for the unworthy attitude towards ordinary players from Russia and Belarus and reinstall the game's Russian localization. If the demands were not met by March 15th, the hackers threatened to release tens of gigabytes of material taken from the unreleased game. GSC Game World remained defiant. In a statement, the studio asked players to refrain from watching or distributing information about the game, particularly as outdated and work in progress materials may dilute the impression of the final version. And the team's official Twitter account stated, recently, our employees' account for collective work with images application was hacked. The responsibility for this was claimed by a community from a Russian social network. They are threatening to use the obtained data for blackmail and intimidation. This is not the first attempt to hack and leak our data, including personal information. We have been enduring constant cyber attacks for more than a year now. We have faced blackmail, acts of aggression, hacks, attempts to hurt players and fans, and efforts to damage the development process or the reputation of our company. We are a Ukrainian company, and like most Ukrainians, we have experienced many things that are much more terrifying: destroyed houses, ruined lives, and the deaths of our loved ones. Attempts to blackmail or intimidate us are completely futile. Our unwavering commitment to supporting our country remains unchanged. We will continue to do everything possible to support Ukraine, and this won't change in the future under any circumstances. And the statement says that the team remains strong and courageous because when you believe in something and love it with all your heart, you have to defend it at all costs. Stalker 2 was originally scheduled to release in December of 2022, but was delayed due to Russia's invasion of Ukraine. The war has, of course, delayed development of the game. And Steam says that the game is set to release now in December of 2023. So, I can't, I really can't imagine what the people of Ukraine are going through right now. And the fact that these guys are being threatened about a video game is just, it's real sad.
Dark patterns
They're
of
dealing
humanity.
with so much already.
Dark patterns of humanity, Shalene.
Thunder.
They know no limits.
Thunder.
Sorry.
That's what we call a callback in the
Yeah.
film business. Yeah.
But in all seriousness, yeah. I admire their perseverance.
So do I.
See a little bit of myself in that.
Yes, definitely. I admired what they said in their statement. I think that's a team worth supporting.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, exactly.
absolutely. So, but you know what? If you'd like to play the Stalker series, you can probably play it on the go with the Steam Deck. If you had a Steam Deck, do you have a Steam Deck, Fender? No. Well, this might be the time to act because the Steam Deck is going on sale for the first time. Until the end of the Steam Spring sale on March 23rd, you can save 10% off the regular price of a Steam Deck.
Wow.
This is the first time that Valve has offered the Steam Deck at a discount. So you can just pick one based on how much storage you want and get it at a slashed price. For example, if you want the 64 gigabyte version, the smallest one, that is now $359.10 as opposed to $399. Or you can get the big whopping 512 gigabyte version for $584.10 as opposed to $649. that's a pretty significant chunk of savings. And I tell you, I am tempted by the Steam Deck. I think it is a great little piece of hardware. Archon and I were talking about it earlier.
Really? Because
He's also interested in it.
I feel
I
like
can't justify the expense.
I feel like Steam Deck is like the Mad Cats of handhelds.
Do you really? The Mad
Well,
Cats.
I mean, look at what you're up against. The Nintendo Switch,
I mean,
PSVR.
the
Like
Switch is
what's
fantastic. The PSVR is not really a competitor to the Steam
what
Deck.
are other some comparable
But the Switch,
handhelds to?
just the Switch is really all that's
Is
up.
it
Unless you
really?
want to talk
Wow.
about like an iPad,
No, iPads don't count.
that's
Mm-mm.
I feel like that's really the only competitors that we have to the Steam Deck right now. And the Steam Deck, I believe it has a pretty good deal more processing power than the Switch does. I love my Switch. The Switch is for a very particular audience and a very particular type of game. And I think there is more that you can get out of a Steam Deck.
Does Steam Deck run on is it like an Android based?
I have no idea.
Cuz I wonder because like Nintendo, you can only play Nintendo and like what other games they allow into their platform,
And the Steam Deck is just what you own on Steam.
right? Anything and everything. I wonder if I could hook up my giant wheel and my pedals.
Steam Deck. Oh my god. Oh my gosh.
How ridiculous.
I love that idea so much. I just want to see you like on the
On the
subway.
train. Yeah, on the train.
Yes. With your wheel and the pedals and the Steam Deck. And you can have your Steam Deck like in a music stand.
Oh man.
Ooh,
You know,
brilliant.
actually
That's brilliant.
I could justify it because Carlos got the Nintendo Switch,
Mhm.
and then I could have the Steam Deck, and then
You
everything
guys
would
will be covered.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So you
That's
guys
all I have
you're
for the
thinking
news.
about getting it?
No, not right now. It's not something that's in the cards for us right now, but um yeah, Archon mentioned that he had thought about it,
Hmm.
and I absolutely have looked at it too, but I am the owner of a very fine Switch that has very, very many games that I have yet to finish on it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I can't justify $500 for another device.
Stack your games, not your hardware. Yeah.
I mean, I'd like to stack my dollars, and I can't right now. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, you could always sell some of your makeup. I'm pretty sure you could buy a small vehicle with the
never. How dare you? My makeup.
All right, that's enough. Let's go into the stocks. Oh, goodness. Well, Sony is up $1.76. These prices are in comparison to our last episode of GameStack podcast last week. Microsoft, Shalene, get this, up $30.84. And speculation on that is that it shot up this week by 4% on Tuesday after the announcement of some highly anticipated AI power upgrades to its web browser and search tools. And I just want to talk about this a little bit so people know why. But the new version of Bing, do you know Bing?
Yes.
Not like Chandler Bing, but like Microsoft
like,
Bing.
Yes.
So Bing is like Google Maps for Microsoft.
Bing is the search engine that you use to install Google Chrome.
Yeah, pretty much. The new version of Bing is powered in part of the OpenAI's technology. So Microsoft made a multi-billion-dollar investment in the research company in late January following their blockbuster debut of its massively popular ChatGPT application. And they said that it's using next generation tech from OpenAI that's even more powerful and faster than ChatGPT and specifically designed for search. And the software's Titan is also developed proprietary technology to maximize the capabilities of OpenAI data models. So that's why their stock shot up. And you know what? I wonder if they're going to update Microsoft Flight Sim to a better version of Bing, because Microsoft Flight Sim runs on Bing. That's why the world is so accurate. because
Yeah,
it's a direct representation of big maps. So,
that is really cool.
anyways, Nintendo up 15 cents, Take Two up $5.70, Activision up $1, Ubisoft up 97 cents, EA up $4.16, and Tencent up 38 cents. So everybody's doing good this week.
This is a much more positive week than last week.
Agree. Speaking of positive things, we also, I think, have some mail to open.
You've got mail.
What's on the stack, Shalene?
We do have some mail. This is from Taz. And he's been sending to screenshots and stories pictures of his space engineers vessel, the SS GameStack.
Right.
So we had a little more to report here. Taz says, "Hello, friends, here to report the latest adventures of SS GameStack. One note going forward in the spirit of transparency, all ships and stations shown are from the Steam Workshop or are provided from any mods used. Any ships that I do create will be noted appropriately. It is with regret to report that the Rossi escort ship was lost with all hands in a recent battle with a far stronger Reaver ship. Sadly, Rossi was outgunned by the Reaver that had a surprise shield active, but though the Rossi did manage to do a fair amount of damage, she eventually succumbed to the Reaver with GameStack at her side. GameStack was able to drive off the wounded Reaver, and later, after defensive system upgrades, the GameStack hunted down the Reaver and avenged the crew of the Rossi. Construction of an underground bunker at GameStack Studio Outpost has begun due to rising Reaver and other hostile
Oh
faction
my
threats.
gosh.
More to come."
Oh man.
I love that.
I feel like you should like take on the role of like Princess Leia and I could be Han Solo. That's great.
Oh my goodness.
We also have some screenshots. Is that the only piece of
That's
mail?
it. That's all the mail.
We also have some screenshots and stories, of which some of those images are coming in from Taz as well. So let me just cue those up here. So actually, this is sort of in reverse order once again, because even though I number the files individually, it never works out. So this first one is from Frankie.
Oh, this is great. I love it.
Yeah, and she says, "We're dancing before mining. Hubs and I are on our third characters to level 25. Each one takes about 24 hours of playtime, and we love it. We have systems and roles for doing the maps, and it works."
That is so cute. Just to describe that photo real quick, they are in the Deep Rock Galactic pub, and there are curly streamers dangling from the sky, and these two amazing dwarves are wearing hats that are the number 5 in rainbow lights.
Yeah, and the floor is different. The dance floor is like glass now. It's
And
been a
there's
while.
huge bottle of champagne
It's
sitting
been a
over to
hot
the
minute.
side.
It's been a hot minute since I've been in Deep Rock because my crew abandoned me.
How dare they?
Hobbit's computer started billowing smoke and Jess got a new job, so I don't know where they went. But anyways.
Yes.
And then we've got some screenshots from Taz. So I'm going to quickly skip back here to this first one. He says, the Rossi escort ship was lost with all hands defending the repair station Moondancer station from the imminent Reaver attack. And it's a picture of the ship being attacked and blowing up, and it's
damage.
all bad. It's bad. And then this one, after joining the battle, GameStack managed to force the Reaver ship off. Of course we did.
Good job,
And
SS GameStack.
after new defensive system upgrades, GameStack hunted down the Reaver ship and avenged Rossi. And then, of course, this image here, which is odd. It's just like a cavern, I presume.
Yeah, this is like the door to the underground bunker, I think, that he's building.
Yeah,
because
he
he
says,
mentioned he was building
due
a
to the
bunker.
increasing Reaver threat and other hostile factions, underground bunker and hangar is now being constructed. So this is from the outside. And he's got a little blowtorch in his hand. I love that. And then this is underneath. So I guess there's terrain manipulation as well.
Interesting.
That's kind of cool. Yeah, I never thought space engineers had terrain manipulation. I should really hop into that again.
Yeah, this is fun. I think you'd enjoy it.
So that's screenshots and stories. How can people submit?
You can submit by visiting our Discord server and going to the Screenshots and Stories channel. Post your screenshots and stories there, and we would love to share them on the show. This is genuinely one of my favorite segments of the show. So please
Yeah.
flood it with screenshots of what you're playing and stories about what you're doing in game. I love it.
I also it also has the best bumper and I forgot to play it, so I'm going to play it right now. And now we have to talk about what we're playing. Do you want to go first or do you want me to go first?
I will go first this time.
Okay.
So I'm going to start off. Of course, I've been playing Fallout 76. That's been a constant part of my life for a few years now. And I've just been doing the homework, nothing too special. There is a new season out, and last week I talked about some of the new items in the update. And one of the rewards in the new season is a shotgun called the Cold Shoulder. And it's a cryogenic shotgun. So it has like a freezing effect.
Okay.
It has extra damage to cryptids, and I'm using a perk that helps me cripple enemies with shotguns. I think it's called Enforcer. And this shotgun is my favorite new weapon. It's the best weapon ever. I had like 9,000 shotgun shells sitting in the closet. So I got them out and I've been just using the Cold Shoulder almost exclusively. And it's been so fun. It's so
Really?
fun to, like, the weaker enemies just like disintegrate beneath this shotgun, and the stronger enemies you
Cold
can freeze
shoulder.
them and cripple them and just really slow them down. Today, one of the challenges was to kill a sheep squatch. And there aren't really any reliable sheep squatch spawns. So Archon had been world hopping trying to find one. And where he finally found one was in the Dweller Must Die custom world, like the Bethesda world, which of course has insanely accelerated difficulty. So I hopped
It's
on with
Archon
him to
level.
try and get the, yes, it's
Yeah.
Archon level.
Yeah.
Yes. And so I hopped in there with him to help him. And I was such a huge assistance with my Cold Shoulder. I crippled
You
its
gave him the
legs
cold
and I
shoulder.
froze it. I gave him the Cold Shoulder. And it made it so much easier to kill that sheep squatch. And it was so fun.
Nice.
The mutated events that I mentioned last week have really breathed some life and community back into the game. I expected people to be participating in the new mutated events, but I've noticed there's a lot more participation in all of the events. I feel like a lot of the events where you'd get two, maybe three people before, now you're getting the whole server showing up to take part. And I think people participating in the mutated version reminded them, hey, this is a fun event. It's fun to do these. Let's do these events.
Yeah.
And another reward that I got from the season scoreboard was a propeller hat. Yes, the little propeller. The propeller does not spin when I run, and that breaks my little heart. But it is very cute, and I love it. And I love my propeller hat, and it's glorious.
It doesn't spin when you run?
It doesn't spin when I run, and that's
That's
desperately
yeah.
disappointing.
That's like a deal
Yeah.
breaker. Is it the colors that I imagine in my head?
I think it's just red. Isn't it just red?
It's also disappointing. I feel like it should be
He's
like
wearing headphones.
primary colors like yellow and red and blue.
The propeller head, it's just red, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's just red.
Studio
Yeah.
producer. That's cool. I like it. Propeller
And
hat is life.
I went today to turn in some what's it called, technical data to the Brotherhood of Steel. And I don't know if you've done the Brotherhood of Steel quest line. I think you haven't played since
I
they
did
added
it
that.
with we shot a thing in the sky at some school with the Brotherhood with Rick.
No, you haven't done the new Brotherhood of Steel quest line.
Okay, never mind.
There is a character named Scribe Valdez, and I love Scribe Valdez. She's probably my favorite living character. One of my top three anyway.
What's
in
your
this
favorite
game.
dead character?
Definitely Sanjay. Definitely Sanjay.
I love
Sanjay,
that
yeah.
I love that she has a perfectly normal answer for that.
But
Okay.
Scribe Valdez is bae. Like I love her. Scribe Valdez is my favorite. And I turned in my technical data, and my reward was an outfit that matches Scribe Valdez. And I didn't remember this. Archon says it's a common reward that I have some and he has some, but I didn't remember it. So I put it on and I was so excited. And I did a photo shoot with Scribe Valdez. And that was really fun time. So I had good times with Fallout 76, especially today.
Nice.
And last weekend, Vendor, I played It Takes Two with you.
That was okay. So, how long has it been?
What?
It's been like 84 years since we last
Yes,
played It Takes
it
Two.
has been
You could still
months.
smell the fresh paint. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
um yeah, so we hopped into It Takes Two. It was a grand time.
So good. This game is so full of joy and it makes me so happy. And like, I enjoy my friendship with you when I'm playing with you. Like, it's such a good
Wait a minute. What does
experience.
that mean for all the other games?
I mean, I enjoy my friendship with you all the
I
time,
know,
but
I
this is
know.
a game that makes you appreciate friendship.
Yes.
And we were playing through a snowy world and it was so fun, and I ate like 800 pancakes in the game.
Okay, so for if you're just wondering, we were on the level where you're in a giant snow globe.
Yes,
And it's a
yes,
snow world. Like it and there's these creepy snow people.
they're so funny
They're
looking.
I don't know. It was very very strange.
And there
Um
was one area where they were having like a little snowman party, and Vendor discovered that we could steal their hats. So we spent much time stealing their hats and cackling like madmen. And that one
it was
top hat
brilliant. It was an
was
ice
as tall as
cave.
my character. It was
Yeah. Oh my
so
god. The top hat. It was so high. It had its
so
own
good.
atmosphere.
It
Um
was higher than Snoop Dogg.
but they were in like an ice cave bar and they were all like dancing,
Mhm.
and then like
And
some of
some of them
them
were vomiting
they
in
were
the corner.
vomiting in the corners and all you could hear was like and you look down on the snow and it's like heart-shaped vomits that are in the snow. It was like the most cute vomit you've ever seen. It's just ridiculous.
Oh my gosh. And we had snowball fights and we played shuffleboard. And that book, the talking book, is our favorite character, continues to be our
Hmm.
favorite character in the game. He reappeared a couple of times, and I was reminded that he has a chin. He's
Yes.
a book with a chin.
Yeah, it's got a butt chin. It's, you know what though, that level, and I said this before, it is the most interactive level in the game so
Yes,
far. Like, not only did we have snowball fights and eat a million pancakes and candied apples and lollipops, but we threw icicles. We had
we
like an
did.
icicle throwing contest, and then there was also like the snooker table. No, the what did you call it?
Shuffleboard?
Shuffleboard. Yeah, that was
Mhm.
lots of fun. And then there was swings, and there was tobogganing, and there was a Ferris wheel, and it was just like
And sleds. There were
there was the
sleds.
sleds, yes, and there was skating. You could go
I
skating.
forgot about the ice skates and the turtles.
Oh
You
yeah, the
could slide the
turtles.
turtles around like curling
And then
pucks.
snowbathing.
Oh, yes, we went snowbathing.
There were these lawn chairs in the snow on the sunniest part of the snow globe. It was like when the sun shines through the snow globe and then it concentrates the light to one single little spot and burns your house down. That's where all the snowmen were suntanning on their lawn chairs, and snow women should say that as well.
Yes.
And then what was the other thing that we? Uh, oh crap, I can't remember. It was there and it's gone now. The
It was so
swings,
good.
the Ferris wheel.
And there were a bunch of snacks, not just
There's
pancakes. We also
snacks
ate
everywhere.
candied apples and lollipops and
Yeah.
all kinds of
Then we were
snacks. We
on like a
just
sugar high. Yeah.
gorged ourselves
Oh, and we
on
did
snacks.
bobsledding.
We did bobsledding. And
Bobsledding.
then there was that whole underwater segment, and we quit right before the boss.
Yeah. Oh, and snow angels. That was the one I
Snow
was going to say.
angels. That was so
How could we
fun.
forget snow angels?
We
It was
made
like
snow
it was the
angels.
best. Like that was like the most it was like Canada. It was home.
It was charming
It
and
was,
wholesome
yeah,
and
I
fun.
loved it. I can't wait to hop into it again. Hopefully
Me
you have some
too.
time.
Yes.
Is that all of your
That's
gameplay?
that's it. That's all I had for gameplay.
Well, in addition to It Takes Two, I have been playing a little bit of ETS every evening. Or ATS, sorry. It's been my way of sort of winding down at the end of the
And
day.
for the uninitiated, that is
American Truck Simulator. And because I, now have this second job, I leave my real job and I go to my second fake job at the end of the day. So I technically am working two jobs. I'm very tired,
Mhm.
Shalene. Very
Oh
tired.
yes,
Yes.
exhausting.
But I played with a fellow Viva employee on their Discord. They have a looking to drive channel and they're always doing sort of events and things like that. But somebody had posted, because I stopped working early today because, Friday. Somebody had posted that they were looking for someone to drive with and they had created a convoy. They said, hop in whenever you want. And so it was about 30 minutes after they had posted and I said, is it too late? I'm going to hop in right now. And then I hopped in and we met at a gas station and then we got gas and we loaded up our loads and then we got on the highway and it was so fun because like the AI traffic in this game are as dumb as real drivers.
Oh my goodness.
Like they don't know how to merge, they don't know how to change lanes, none of them go the speed limit. Like it's just a mess, right? And so when there's two of you driving and you've got to sort of anticipate that, it's kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That sounds
Um
neat.
we were almost done the load and we both got low on fuel and we needed to stop at a gas station. So I was like, oh, I see a gas symbol on my map. And I was leading at the time. So
Uh-huh.
I like took the next exit and I went to where the gas station was. But it actually turned out to be a garage that I owned with my own gas station.
Oh
And they couldn't access the gas. And they were like, where are we? Is there supposed to be a gas station here? And I'm like, oh, sorry.
no.
I didn't realize that it's actually just me. So I was like, yeah, I felt kind of bad. Then we had to like exit off and then go to the real gas station and the next exit. And they were like, whew, thank God I had enough fuel to like, because I was leading them
Right.
on this wild goose chase all over the map. Oh, maybe it's down here. But yeah, so yeah, I'll probably get into some more truck sim. They launched their 1.47 beta release this week, so
Mm-hmm.
there's lots of quality of life updates with that. Um, but they added this new thing where there's random road bumps.
Okay.
But it actually kind of makes me a bit seasick because the truck is kind of like
Right.
right. So it took a little bit of getting used to, and I'm like, come on, suck it up. Like you can play Sea of Thieves, you can handle a small bump on the road, like. But yeah, that's what I've been up to.
And how are you liking the wheel pedals? All
Great. Ever since I fixed that USB controller issue with my motherboard, I've never had a problem with it. It's just plug and
wonderful.
play. So yeah, works really well. It's really good quality. Oh, I finished staining my wheel.
Yeah, you showed me a photo on Discord and it
Yeah,
looked
it's
amazing.
over on the other side of the room. I'll post it in the Discord in
That'd be great. The gear channel.
the gear channel if anybody's curious. But so that's a
Sounds great.
show. That's a show, everyone. Thanks for listening. Don't forget, we're sponsored by Oak and Crow Coffee. If you head on over to oakandcrow.com, you can pick up a bag of We Just Love Coffee blend. $2 from every bag goes to the Children's Miracle Network. Send us some mail. We love to hear from you in the Mail Stack channel. Drop it in the Discord in the Mail Stack channel, and don't forget, you can also, if you're looking for game deals or game codes, join our Discord and hop over into GameStack Marketplace. And our resident Khajiit will hook you up with some wares. He's got all kinds of game codes.
And you don't even need coin.
Yeah. Um, and we're also on Twitter at We Just Love Games, Shalene at Shalene L, myself at Vendertron N. We're on Facebook, facebook.com/We Just Love Games /group/We Just Love Games. And we record the show live every Friday, 6:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. We love that you listen live, but if you don't listen live, that's okay, because we post the shows YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. Please like, subscribe, and review. Thank you all for listening. Happy St. Patrick's Day. And Shalene, have you got a last word?
Dark patterns.